Stream. Okay.
For information basis. My email has been changed. No, it's been changed again.
This is change number 2 for James. Yes.
Yeah, it's now james.murray6@comcast.net. Yeah, CenturyLink would
Okay.
Comcast.net.
Call the meeting to order. We'll wait just a few more seconds. We'll start at 5:30.
We are officially recording and streaming at the moment. Let everybody know.
It's 5:30. Let's call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I would like to point out that we have our new youth member. Nate. And I think we've introduced everybody to Nate. Do you recall any of the names? Oh, not a quiz. Let's go around. Yeah.
So I'm Holly, I'm the library manager for Lacey and Concentrated Library, and I got to meet you when I came and talked about how awesome the library board was to the youth council.
I'm Scott Ross. I'm James Murray.
And Pam Nelson. Nice to meet you. Welcome, Charlotte. Any announcements? Turn to the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, the agenda is approved as written. Have you all had a chance to look at the September 14th minutes? Maybe you weren't at the meeting, I don't really think it's appropriate for you to vote on approving or not approving these, but going forward, next word, yeah, and next time we meet,
Do you need a copy of the minutes, James? I have an extra.
does anybody else need a copy? I would like to point out that in the second line, where it lists everybody who was present, Amy Blondin was excused. She was not merely absent, she was
Excused, that's right. We knew you'd be gone,
So-
and it was okay. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I think there is a technical difference.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
because if we ever had to remove Amy, we document when she first failed to show up for a meeting. Oh, yeah. So,
And it would not be this meeting in September because she was excused.
yes. Exactly. I think. So is there a motion to approve the minutes as?
I need this back. I move we approve the minutes of September 1. 2 as amended.
Second,
I'll second.
in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, thank you very much. I am not aware of anyone desiring to make a public comment, Holly.
We did not receive any requests for public comment through my email or attached through Timberland, and I do not believe we received any, John.
That's not.
I think he would have told us.
Okay. Moving along, library managers update.
Okay, I have, I would like to do a quick apology for not getting that update out until this morning. I think, did I give you a copy when you? Yes, he's got, yes. I was intending on getting everything finished and sent out last night, but I was. Did I have an extra?
I looked at.
Okay. I was here printing ballots from 5:30 until 8 o'clock last night for all of the folks who are getting voter help at our voter center. So I did not get a chance to do this, or I did it this morning. But I just wanted to give you the option, so I will obviously we'll try and get back to getting that for you at least a week before to get more time to read through. But basically, I just wanted to highlight a few things. Our in-person programming is back. We have had very good attendance at our regular story times. We are partnering with the Child Care Action Council Kaleidoscope Playgroup on Wednesdays. They were here this morning and it's really cute. so that we have additional early learning during the week as well as on Saturdays. We have really upped our outreach events. You'll notice that on the back page where it says what our programs were. The list of different places we're going for outreach each month is fairly high compared to even pre-pandemic. So we've been working on that quite a bit. The quilt show was back. We had about 450 people through the course of a month in September and the first week of October. It was wonderful. The library was transformed into this beautiful gallery of fabric art, and I love it. It's one of my favorite times of year. We had 2 days of drop-in anytime Olympia Weavers Guild demonstration here in the meeting room during the end of the quilt show, which attributed to nearly an extra 150 people. So that was really wonderful. We're also working on trying to get Hawks Prairie Timberland Library will have Sunday hours starting in 2023. I've also asked our administration if they could look into potentially adjusting the hours, the open hours, to give us one extra morning hour at the expense of an evening hour. Currently, Hawks Prairie Timberland Library is open Tuesdays through Saturdays, and on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're open 11 to 7. The 6 to 7 hour has a few people coming, but it's not particularly active. Not like we're seeing during the 10 to 11 hour on Fridays and Saturdays when we are open that extra hour in the morning. So I thought it would be beneficial to check in with administration and with Timberland to see if we could look into adjusting the hours to be 10 to 6 Tuesday through Sunday as hours for Hawks Prairie. It would also make it a little easier for those days when I'm short staffed to pull somebody here to go over there, because we're only open till 6 Monday through Saturday here. So if somebody needs to go home early at 6 to 7, I have no one to call on, unless I, am home and get my car and come over, which I have done, but that would make it a little easier. So we're waiting to hear about that. But the Sunday hours will be starting up either in January or February, probably February, to make that happen.
How would you, so the Hawks Prairie Library, I've been there several times now. What kind, are you seeing a mix of adults and families, or what kind of?
It's very interesting patronage. We are certainly seeing folks in the area that are coming in of all ages. Majority are some of our seniors, some of our senior citizens. Some of them are driving down from the 55 plus committees and communities in North Hawks Prairie, Jubilee in that area. We are also seeing some of the folks and families from the surrounding neighborhoods around Meadows and Tangle Wild in that area coming in. We're having people walk next door from 55 plus senior trailer park. That's for fixed income. So that's really nice because that's a community that we want to serve, and they're coming over. We are seeing more families with small children than, say, school-age children or teens. Really haven't seen much in the way of teens over there at this point. Don't know if it's because they don't know or if it's just, not necessarily on the radar yet. Lots of moderate checkout use. Certainly I'd like to see a little bit higher checkout at the location. It's currently, out of our 29 libraries, it's currently 18th in terms of amounts of materials checked out.
Materials overall, right? So
percentage-wise, well, yeah, but when you look at it, though, West Olympia is 10th. So yeah, so I mean, yeah. So it's less about number of materials and more about usage, right? And honestly, I don't expect us to be nearly what West Olympia is. The Capitol Mall is a regional destination for folks in all surrounding counties as well as Thurston. It's going to get higher use than where our current location is, which is, by the grocery outlet and it's not in an indoor mall. But I do believe that having Sunday hours will help rise that, because right now only West Olympia and Hawks Prairie will be the only 2 Timberland libraries that are open on Sunday. And so I do expect that will help raise our usage. We're seeing lots of people coming in for computer use and printing. I mean, like lots and lots. So I think that will, I did ask and was approved to add a couple more internet stations over there as we expand that use, and also to kind of focus a bit more of the collection a little bit away from the juvenile, school age and teens, not entirely, but just kind of shift more towards the picture books, boxed books, things for the small, because that's who we're getting parents with littles, and then we're getting adults coming in for the most part.
In the picture book, I want to say that it's library. I'm going to do a mock Caldecott program with some, I'm hoping with teachers and librarians. And so I've been putting, I got a list of books from mock Caldecott, and they're putting this book on hold.
Yeah.
Every day, my friend goes, the phone goes, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, books on hold. Does everybody know what a mock Caldecott is? Okay. Caldecott Award is is like the highest award that can be given for a picture book. For illustration. Picture books. Yeah, picture books are the ones that the child is not meant to be reading on their own per se, but being read to. It has really good illustrations. You usually would read it by holding it up and showing the child and inviting them to touch and verbalize and talk about the pictures that they're seeing. Is a really good way to build their skills. So a Caldecott Award for an illustrator is like the highest honor, like the Nobel Prize of illustrators.
Actual award is administered through the American Library Association, and they
Yeah,
have a
it's
committee of
our
librarians who read hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 books in the year leading up, and they discuss and vet and select the most significant contributions to children's picture book artwork over the past year. So there are people online who are not necessarily on the committee, but they're very interested in promoting literacy and reading joy. And they have put forth their opinions of what I don't remember why they chose 22 books, but what the 22 leading contenders in their opinion are. And so they put out a packet for how to conduct a Caldecott competition.
Oh,
Pick
fun.
your winners. And then they have a timeline so that you can time it so that you were done right before the announcement of the actual winner. And the announcement is always live streamed. And if you're in the right time zone and you do it with a class in a school, you can actually have your kids watch the actual announcement.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very good.
I was actually got to go in person 1 year. And to hear all the people in the room, you can tell where the publishers are sitting because of where the shouts.
Yeah.
When the awards are announced.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Oh,
I love the library. Thank you.
Yes,
For providing books.
of course, absolutely. That is one of the biggest things that we provide. That's a pretty good thing on it. One of the other things that I wanted to highlight is that we have September was National Library Card Sign Up Month, and we have new library card designs available. If you do not have your library card number memorized, and therefore can handle having a different library card, I highly recommend that you turn in your old green card, your old green library card, and get one of the new ones. We have 4 different designs, and they are gorgeous. We also have a 5th design that we should be getting this month that was done by a indigenous artist in honor of Native American Heritage Month. That is done very stylistically in the style of the Pacific Northwest Salish Coast tribes. So it's really cool, and I invite everyone to take advantage of that. Plus, the new library cards, you get a wallet and a keychain one that both have the same number on it, which is something that's been asked for forever. Okay, you can see on the backside of my report our different outreach and programs and things that we're doing. And you can see that we have been really upping our outreach quite a bit. We're doing lots of different presentations and tours and taking our story times and library services out on the road to different places, which we're going to just continue doing more of in 2023. So you'll be seeing us out and about coordinating that sort of thing. We also have our circulation numbers, you know, the checkout that we do for physical and digital materials. And as you can see, we're still continuing to increase at Lacey. We're not quite at pre-pandemic levels like we were from 2019, but we're pretty close. We are right now seeing about 10% lower numbers in physical checkouts, but we're seeing 10% higher numbers in digital. So the numbers overall are about the same. It's just that the percentages have shifted to have more digital than 2019 and less physical than 2019. We'll see how those continue to grow and change. Hawks Prairie, we've only been open since February, so we don't have previous years to go by. And you know, like I said, it's not bad. I would like to see it a little bit busier though, in terms of materials checkout and folks that they're using services. So I'm hopeful that Sundays will help with that. And then finally, I wanted to share with everybody what's going on with our refresh. We're nearly done. If you haven't had a chance to notice the beautiful new shelving in the Friends sale area right outside here, I'll be highlighting that when we go take a tour of this evening. We have also installed new shelving for our magazines. We have new furniture and shelving for our teen area. We have one of our 4 new mobile display units has been received. It's out on the floor. I'll show you that tonight. We have 3 more coming. They're like the ones we have at Hawks Prairie, so they roll and they're big and beautiful. The 3 had been shipped earlier this year, but unfortunately somewhere in transit got run over by a forklift. And arrived in less than ideal condition. And so they are currently in a jumbled pile up at Service Center, and we are awaiting for the company to ship replacements at no charge, which I just found out today will be shipped out on November 29th. So we should get them by the end of the year. We also have some new tables. We're going to be retiring some of our wooden study carrels in the library. We're continuing to move kind of some of the wood out and then the more easily cleanable furniture in. Some that are standing for folks who would like to stand and use a laptop, others that are sitting, some that are for more than one person, some that are just for one person. We'll be setting that up. Some new staff task chairs, getting some new lockers for staff. Since the ones we have are circa 1997. And the rest of the display units. I also didn't get a chance to add it on this one. I thought I had, but apparently I did not. I did hear from Scott Fenn. He may have heard that our city manager has taken a new adventure job as city managing for Astoria in Oregon. And he is on his way out. I believe he's staying until early or mid-December, I think. He's kind of helping the city finish out their budget here. I also heard from Timberland regarding my budget requests, and I'm sad to say that both of them have decided not to fulfill our request for study rooms for 2023. For the city, the money's there, but then time and manpower to run that project, or people power, sorry, is not. And so Scott has asked us to please resubmit this request in 2024, when there might be a little bit more opening on the project schedule to make that happen. And we can also do a little bit more accurate job of getting an idea of cost, and I can work with the city's planner and contractor.
So the slowdown is being able to manually install it for this separation for the 2 rooms.
The slowdown is that the city doesn't have people available to take on this project along with all the other projects.
Okay.
Contingency plan is for you to project manage, right?
Yeah, and for the Timberland to pay for it, and that also got said. Yes, they would like to wait for another year. We also have lots of projects, and to be fair, this is year 3 of refreshes. We had a big remodel in 2020. I had some more stuff in 2021, and I'm finishing things up this year. I think Timberland would like us to kind of have a year where we just sort of see how things are working.
I think this might sound disappointing that our budget requests, we're trying to get it fulfilled, but I think Holly, if you give some of the background.
Yeah,
Can you give that background for Nate?
yeah, that has been, let me put it, I think this is kind of what you're thinking of, Charlotte, so tell me, you know, if beyond that. We have had requests for study rooms for the entirety of the time that I've worked here, which is 10 years now at that Lacey. But we've also had a variety of other kind of projects which sort of took precedence for trying to get things going. And when I took this job in September of 2012, I worked with staff and we made a whole wish list of all the things that needed to happen at our building to kind of help bring it into what we wanted for really, you know, to be at best use for the facility for our community. And as of this year, the only thing remaining, that was a list of about, I think, at least 15 different items, everything from tinting on the windows so the staff sitting at the desk weren't blinded during certain times of the year by the sun coming through, to refreshes in paint and carpet, to just a variety of other kinds of things that needed to get done, refreshes in the furniture, just moving things around, all that kind of stuff. Everything has been done with the exception of the study rooms. And the water slide, though, to be fair, I don't think we probably did that.
That was a long shot.
Yeah, but so while I, of course, I'm kind of sad that we can't make this happen immediately. The city has done so much to help us get to this new state with our new remodel of the front desk so that they're more accessible and ergonomic, and our new check-in room, and they're gonna repaint the whole interior of the library next year, so we don't have the current color on the wall. And it's just, they're doing a whole lot for us, so I'm all right waiting another year. And we can also kind of investigate and see how use continues with our meeting room and what folks are needing in the building.
When we resubmit in next summer,
May-ish, yep,
it'll be the second time that they'll see it.
yeah,
And can we keep detailed stats to support our?
of course, I'll continue.
Number of requests, amount of usage of what we currently have.
Yeah, I did a request to get the windows tinted for 5 years straight before I got it, but it eventually happened. Yeah, but but it's understandable. The money, it's not the money that's so much the problem, but really everybody is having, person power issues right now for the workforce. And Timberland as well, we have, I managed to squeeze in this last project to get us kind of up where I needed us to be for this year, because they postponed a different project that they were going to be working on in a different library. So it's all right. We'll make it happen. That's
An example of it is when I got here at 5 o'clock to come in and start setting up, there was this one gal sitting at the counter over there. And she had the whole thing reserved until 5 o'clock. And she said, I'm sorry, but this is private, because she was on communication with somebody.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll wait outside. But you're renting this whole room for one person.
Yep, that's right.
And I mean, it is a need that's there.
Yeah.
That needs to keep addressing to the council that
Yeah.
this need is there.
Yeah, and I did not get the sense from Mr. Spence that he felt that the need was not there. I think it's
Okay.
just the timing of the project.
Okay,
And
so,
so I got, and I did ask him, I'm not gonna, if I have a good relationship. And I could, leave some sort, if they could do some sort of proclamations of his presence, of his successor, would make sure that got approved. And he said that he didn't know if he could actually do that, but that he did understand it. And he did not think that, it really was just about the making sure that there was adequate time to make it happen and adequate people. So that's all right.
And so I'm gonna have a state of the city industrial stock.
We won't be, no, we can probably get one from Shannon. Shannon Kelly Fong is our assistant city manager, and she is wonderful. And do we have, Nate might know, do you know, are they gonna be designating anybody as an interim city manager while they wait? Have they said anything about that? That you're aware of? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we could all, Rick is the current director of community development, I think. And we could always see if he has any for us too. So Rick's pretty great too. They're actually all pretty great. I'm sad to see Scott go. But there's some really good folks. Any questions about anything else on the manager's report?
For our next meeting, you don't need to meet you some. No. I like it. No, I don't see it. How many times do we have this? I think we will.
We've met before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we've met.
But we must meet in January.
Yes. Because,
Elect.
that's right. Or you're
Same.
Second.
all in favor? Oh, I don't know.
It's up.
My term is up in February, so.
Your term on the board.
Oh,
My term is chair. And, but if you elect me reelect me in January, my term, my appointment to the board is over.
We can fix that, because you are going to offer to be on again, right, Charlotte?
One other thing.
Let me pull up my calendar here. I have, Wednesday, January 11th.
That would be our typical second one.
Is that all right?
I work for everybody. January 11th. 5:30 here in the meeting room.
And that will be, and we'll be talking about the election of chair and what's another one? What secretary, vice chair, vice chair? Vice chair.
I think we want to try to ask Shannon or Rick to pack up for that same meeting. We all should be. The next
Yeah.
one, okay.
Yeah, and we've done that usually either in February or March. I wouldn't say no to March, just because it gives a little time for somebody to get it in also, because even though I'm not actively doing all of it in there, it's always a big wonderful thing that happens in February.
To share with you who the author will be. He's a local author, and it sounds like folks don't really know him, so that's what you can read. You're not his target audience. It's Daniel Meinhardt. So you have 4th through 6th graders, that's his target audience. I think it was two, do we?
Does he have any, I forget, does he have any littles? Does he have any younger? Are we doing any, I don't know, because I'm Raina does this now. Do we have alternate activities or anything like that? Or are we thinking that this is just a good year to kind of focus it down?
I think there was some interest in finding an additional author, like we did the year we had Jason Reynolds, who
Sure.
to the higher grade levels, and we got Obi Lauren to come to the littles. I think because of lots of turnover on the committee, there was too many people learning too much new stuff altogether, and so it's just gonna be.
It's all right to have a quieter, it's all right to have a slightly, there's still, I think, enough people that'll be interested in reading his good stuff. So we did get the grant.
Yes, thank you very
Yes.
much. The friends of the library submitted the grant request.
So then we're probably trying to help them with that every year. And they have been very generous so far.
Okay, so. At this point, usually. We go around the table and we say what we're reading. Shall I do that? Anybody want to start? Okay, I will start. I just finished The Firekeeper's Daughter, which is a YA novel with a lot of Native American. So I learned a lot of stuff. Didn't have that in my repertoire before now. I read it with a group. It's my first time reading with this group, and they are an adjunct reading group to the South Sound Reading Foundation. Oh, neat. So it's really interesting. And the next one we're reading is Last Night at the Telegraph Club, and I have not read enough of it to be able to tell you about it. Just that it was recommended by the same people who recommended Firekeeper's Daughter.
I am currently reading Under the Whispering Door. I think that's what it is, Under the Whispering Door, by TJ Flynn itself. So, because I just wrote this up for my book club, and it's described as a man called O meets The Good Place, which is a TV show that I didn't watch, but I read. But anyways, it's about a guy who was just a horrible businessman, horrible person, who dies suddenly, and now he's in this holding pattern, figuring out where he's going to go, and it's just so it's a really. I'm only about halfway through it, so I'm really intrigued about how it's all going to work out.
Did you hear that a man called O? It's a movie?
Yes, I saw the previews. Yes,
The
yes.
name of the movie is going to be A Man Called Otto. But
Otto.
it's based on A Man Called Otto.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I read all of Byron's books. I love the book.
I'm currently taking classes on the Constitution
Okay.
and why the variants that are now have been showing up in because of the vagueness that's in the Constitution.
Interesting.
And I brought along a little printout here that maybe you can make a copy of. That shows you some of what we're going through on the Constitution. And where the validity of the different series of the Constitution set up is. The Constitution was developed all white business owners. No representation from indigenous, Black, Mexican, Latino. It was all, yep. And it was all to protect the slave owners in the South. The whole voting of the vote count that happens and is discussed on the 6th of January. That whole situation that was developed was all based on getting Texas and 2 other states to sign on. Because they weren't official states yet.
Yeah.
But they did have representatives that said, you don't do this, we aren't going to join. So you will stay 13. So all of the back and forth that's going on is so much almost a repeat of the way the damn Constitution was developed. I'm amazed. And it goes down through everything that's in there. Because I don't care what area you read. The Supreme Court was never set up under the Constitution.
No.
It was never assembled. It was never. It set up its own, the 5 people that were selected to be the Supreme Court justices sat down to set up their whole agenda. The lifetime appointments, the whole works were all set up by those 5 judges.
Fascinating. Where are you taking the classes through, James?
Senior center down in the Olympia.
Oh,
So we're just finishing up class number 6. And so it's been a little bit eye-opening
I should say so.
from the standpoint of all my time at all the different schools and everything that I've been. None of it has ever been presented. None of it has ever been discussed. It's all there, but nobody has ever put together an assembly on this. And so we've got a good teacher teaching it. He's
Wonderful.
he's got a history from St. Martin's. So he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he's being centered on it. He's not going this way
Nope.
or that way. He's just looking at it. He's saying, okay, fine. But now, if you take this out of here, this is supposedly what everybody's based on, that this is going to, all right. What does that actually say? And what are the limitations?
Interesting stuff.
Those facts and figures aren't there. So we've got another.
Interesting things, Jake. You really do. You always have the most interesting things that you're reading or learning about. There you go.
Oh, The Life of Frederick Douglass, his autobiography.
Oh, great. Cool. How are you enjoying it?
Oh, I mean, it's really insightful, like on how he got his education and how he became that great public speaker.
Yeah.
Back then for the abolition. So
Cool. Now, I'm sorry, I have to ask. Are you reading it for school, or are you reading it for yourself, or is this one of those that could fulfill both of those?
it fulfills both.
All right.
I only
Yeah.
have to read some chapters, but I'm reading the whole thing.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, you're at the right place.
All right, I just finished Terry Brooks' novel, Daughter of Darkness. That's my fantasy realm. Finished Atomic Habits. That's my personal betterment series, so that's James Clear. And now I started Killing the Killers, which is kind of my history thing with Bill O'Reilly, chasing down terrorists. Killing the Killers.
I'm just reflecting on both the books I'm reading right now are sort of because I started a new job. The first one is the first 90 days, just kind of getting yourself set up for success in your first couple months. I've read it before, but it's good to go back to. And then I'm reading The Dry by Jane Carter, which is my brain is so full and I'm so tired at the end of the day from all the exciting new job things that it's a murder mystery. It's set in Australia, out back during the drought. It's just really good. Feel the heat and it's just a really, really good book.
Wonderful. Well, I got really excited because the sequel to M.K. Jemison's The City We Became came out recently. And I ate that book up in one night and now I'm now rereading it more slowly. It's called The World We Make. N.K. Jemisin, she was going to originally be a trilogy. She ended up doing a duology because, she was writing it during 2020 in the pandemic. But it's really fascinating. It's about the life that cities contain. And it's sort of it's a fantastical, magical realism situation where what if that life that cities actually contain was actually life? And if that was the case, and she lives in New York, so she's writing about New York City, about the birth of New York City as just a place where people gather into a living, breathing, actual city, an entity in its own. And the people of that city that are chosen to kind of help shepherd the city along in its birth and its life. And then The World We Make as the sequel is continuing to flesh that out. The people that represent the different 5 boroughs of New York City and helping to make this happen. And also the foe that they're fighting, which is based on, which is built on, help me out, I'm bad at the author's name. The guy who did all the Cthulhu stuff, horror, super racist. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, the cool part is that the city that there's like another city that's trying to kill the New York City. And it's based on H.P. Lovecraft's horror mythology with the tentacles and all that kind of stuff. Which is really awesome because you may know N.K. Jemisin is a Black woman, and she is the only author to have ever won 3 back-to-back Hugo Awards, and she did them for her previous series. And so she really likes to take tropes from authors who may not have had the best sensibilities when it came to race, and then just turn them completely inside out and upside down on their head. She's done a great job with that. Highly recommend her. She's an incredible writer. Read anything by her. N.K. Jemisin, Nora is her first name. N.K. Jemisin is one of the best fantasy authors of her time, or almost of any time, I would suggest. Yeah.
One of the biggest surprises I had was that the U.S. portion of the Revolutionary War was financed by 2 of the signatories on the Constitution. The whole finance of it. And it was because they had their accounts coming out of banks in France that they were able to pledge their monies in there, that the French then participated in the war.
Interesting. That is fascinating.
I mean, it's just, you read it and you go, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What happened in 12th grade when I wasn't paying attention? Oh,
Anything else for the good of the board?
Name which class?
What?
CLA what?
Yes.
Then we get to adjourn for a tour, right?
Yeah, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, then we are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. Get this going here.